Any info on their position, but looks like they're setting up for this B hit, and they're already.
And welcome back from a not so short intermission. We're going to be for the second half of our Overwatch Tuesdays doubleheader. St. Clair taking down the first game, going to beat Mizzou 3-0 to move to 3-0 in the league. Now we're going to be facing off against the Drexel Dragons, who they just played a match. I'm not sure if they won or lost, but they came into that match as well being 2-0. So definitely a team that we know. They should have some good skill to them. They should be pretty competitive as well. And we are going to be running it back on Lee Jang Tower for map 1. So the Saints, they had a lot of success on map 1. Now trying to repeat that for the next series.
We've seen them do really well on Lijiang Tower. Lijiang Tower is honestly a really consistent map for a lot of people, honestly. It's a very consistent control map, especially. You don't really see many other control maps, honestly. Lijiang is kind of a simple one. It's been in the game since basically forever. It's kind of a very common type for this game mode. Yeah, anyone that's been watching any amount of Overwatch, you're going to be familiar with Lijiang. The Saints play it, I think, every single week. We're almost always going to see Lijiang as the map 1. So one great thing we did see Kiriko finally get busted out by Red X last series, and he did such a good job on it. So fun to see the new heroes finally out of quarantine. We mentioned it on the first half of the break here, or the first half of the stream earlier. Bastion and Torbjorn still not in the game, so we're probably going to keep seeing the Genji, the Sojourn, the Sombra, things of that nature, and otherwise, depending otherwise. So now, see what kind of comp the Saints are going to go out with, and we are going to see Red X insta-locking the Kiriko yet again. So we're probably going to see more of the same, but nonetheless, a bright spot. Yeah, we see a Symmetra, which is kind of interesting, considering she's not the most strong push-wise, but she's very strong at controlling points and keeping characters on, off those points, I guess. Yeah, she basically just makes you have to look every direction. When you get into that middle tower point, the actual control area for Lijiang, she's going to give you a ton of value. You can use the teleporters to try to, cut some of the distance, which I'm assuming they're probably going to try to do as well. And hey, just like they did, they are going to TP to that front half, so even if they can't take the point right away, they want to do what the Saints did, which is control the front half of that doorway, try to either find 1 or 2 picks, and then try to slowly work your way back onto site, and we are going to see the first fight getting underway here. Yeah, we see Zarya on both sides, which not surprised there. Crime picking up a kill on said Zarya for the side of Saints. Yeah, once again, the DPS getting it done early. Crime gonna get tagged up, but he will win the 1v1 against Pest, and Peanut does end up off the map. So does Beef Stir Fry, so not sure if it was the work of the Saints. I don't really think they have anyone to, boop or anything like that, but nonetheless, 2 members, including the Lucio, gonna end up off the map, so the Saints, they are going to take that point. They're going to start to get the progress, and if you've watched these last 2 weeks, the Saints love to live in this back building, so we'll have to see, can Drexel finally, dig their way out, which a lot of other teams, we have not been able to see them do that. Yeah. And actually, it might have been the Zarya that boops because her grenade can push back
especially to see a Lucio fall off the map. Something most likely had to have gone, he had to have gotten it from somebody else. There's, you can run on a wall, so. Sure.
We see, honestly, kind of a slow game. I say that and then immediately 2 kills, but there's been a little bit of picks on each side, but not that much considering just how aggressive both teams have been right now. Yeah, and we saw Drexel actually have a really good comeback. Jeff Goldblum going off there on the Zarya, up to a 5 streak now and opening up things for Drexel. They were able to take that point back from the Saints, so a very good job. They got off that back foot. They realized, okay, we've seen St. Clair do this to enough teams already. We cannot get caught in the trenches here. We can't get caught on the back foot. And now, a little taste of their own medicine. They're going to try to force the Saints back into spawn. And honestly, it's just the best way to play Lijiang. Once you get that point, just put as much pressure as you can, within reason. You be a little, be respectable, be responsible about it. But try to keep the pressure. And look at Bar Ultimate is going to claim 2 on the side of the Saints. So great job by Drexel so far to only stagger 1 or 2 ultimates there and get a lot of value out of it. Bar is a really interesting choice, but with that Ana, it's not that unheard of, considering Ana can nano boost, and that barrage is just unstoppable with a nano boost.
Yeah, Farah can be an absolute thorn in the side of a team who, especially on a map like this where there is a good amount of open area and you can shoot in through those windows as well. So she's going to give you a ton of value pretty much across the entire map. But I mean, someone shooting down rockets from a place that you necessarily can't always see them, going to be pretty strong. Similar to like a Junkrat in some spots. You're going to, it's really hard to make that character look poor.
Yeah, and especially we're talking about boops, but Farah can definitely boop off. We see a pretty decent Dragon Blade, honestly. Crime picking up, I think it was just the 1 kill, but it was still a pretty decent kill. The Saints are still holding on to that point, but we see 2 and the contest on to the point currently, maybe with a wrecking ball. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, I've been seeing actually a lot of teams still running the ball comp, especially in like high level competitive. I think it's so hard to track him down, having 700 HP and all that mobility on top of, having somebody like we said earlier, the Kiriko can match the mobility of the ball. You can TP to him, get him the health when he's like flanking on one of those backsides, and then you're able to TP back to the actual fight to help your teammate. So I think that's kind of the reason the ball gets unlocked a little bit. So obviously he does have his shortcomings, but with the Kiriko, I think there's a lot more that you can use as far as agency with him.
Yeah, and especially because Ball does have the most HP of all the characters, not just the tanks. He really is quite tanky considering he doesn't have a shield, but...
Right now, Drexel is tanking St. Clair in their spawn. They're up to 87% now. St. Clair hasn't really been able to recover since that second wave of when they lost the point. Squeak is going to get slept there as well. G-Skills going to have to try to get back and touch point. This is going to get up to about 98, 99% before a touch will be possible. Now Squeak, all on him, is going to get hacked, going to get anti down, is going to fall as well to the far all. The Saints, they're going to have to keep touching the point here. It's going to be overtime and a contest. Prime is going to get nanoed, going off of the Soldier. Zarya Bubble going to keep him alive, and the Saints will walk off the point. Slight little C9 there in round 1, and they will finally drop a round today so far.
Yeah, but honestly, it was a C9, but that Sojourn was just not able to get there because if she moved up a little bit, she probably would have died. And yes, it was a C9, but she at least saved herself.
Yeah, only thing, Crime was on the point as well, got the kill up after the nano and just backed off a little bit too far. So it's kind of it's hard to gauge where you're standing, especially when you're bearing down on 3-4 members. It's hard to make sure, hey, I'm on the point, and especially as the DPS, you're always looking to try to stay on that back line, keep that distance, especially when you're not a melee hero as well. So Saints not able to get the second touch there, and Drexel, they're going to take that first round there.
Yeah, we see a Winston now instead of the ball, which honestly Winston is probably the best play for this map.
Yeah, I like it a lot more.
He's very versatile with this map considering it's quite long and he can lead quite far.
And we are going to see Red X switching onto the Lucio. We're going to see the Lucio Ana comp coming out now, so maybe just use that beat to say keep the HP flowing. Maybe Kiriko. The thing with Kiriko is she's an excellent character, but she can be a little bit tricky to play in spots, and it's a little bit hard to get going sometimes. So the Lucio definitely going to be more of like a comfort pick, a little easier to play, and especially for a map like this, you can kind of just skate around the point. And this looks like more of a team comp for just contesting the point and buying time as well.
Yeah, and Lucio is really just as easy as Kiriko to get in and out to follow up with that Genji.
And of course, on a map where you can fall off, can't forget the boops.
Yeah,
always something to worry about. That right-click boop to send people off the map there. Always going to be super effective on a map like this. Crime, going to try to get these ticks without throwing knives here. Going to get healed up a bit. The Saints did get the first point, up to 20+% now, but we know Drexel, they're going to come back firing away here. But the Saints doing a much better job this time, playing the back half of this building and just controlling the engagement so far.
Yeah, and of course, Crime does get quite a lot of picks normally, and although he does struggle sometimes, but obviously right now is one of those times.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've seen Pest Control on the Sojourn like popping off so far this game. Every single member of Drexel's had their good moments, and this Pharah has been an absolute cancer for the side of the Saints so far. They haven't really been able to find the answer to deal with it. That would typically probably be your Sojourn trying to deal with that. So G-Skills, if he's getting targeted, it's going to be a little bit tricky to try to lock down that Pharah, and just getting ticked from above while you have to deal with the Zarya and then deal with the Sojourn, and then now Ana having the Nano available. It's just so many layers of utility to deal with for the Saints, and Drexel was able to get that point. Now the Saints are going to be the ones that have to try to place a retake.
Yeah, and Pharah, normally you counter her with some kind of hit scan or a sniper, and hit scan of course means like a Sojourn. Sojourn
Cassidy.
Yeah, Cassidy.
Yeah, Sojourn hit scan enough.
Yeah, Soldier for sure.
Yeah.
It's like the main hit scan I feel, and of course Cassidy.
We're going to see the Pharah, like we said, still going off. Now we're going to see Squeak taken to the skies to take matters into his own hands. Is going to take over Dizzy there, and the Saints maybe get to try to use that pick to gain some ground here, but Drexel still holding strong, still holding serve on that point. We are going to see the ulti for G-Skills come online. The Nano is there. Blade and Beat almost online as well. So I would suspect we're going to see either some kind of combo of the Nano and the Beat and the Blade. We're going to see some kind of combination here because the Saints realize, even though this, the point has a lot of time to go, they're going to have to try to take this sooner than later.
Yeah, and despite it having a lot of time to go, there's not that much time left. A really good attempt, but Drexel, they are just eating, honestly.
Yeah, they are shutting down the Saints. They just shut down that Dragon Blade pretty much instantaneously. Now Squeak still trying to fight on this point here. They will end up taking out Jeff Goldblum there. Zarya is going to fall. Winston still getting a lot of damage here. They're going to find a couple kills. The Soldier and ulti giving them a ton of value there and just try to get this pick damage from far away now. And the Saints are going to take the point for the time being, but they got about 30% left to catch up to Drexel here and keep this game going.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tough considering they've really been struggling with this Pharah, and Pharah is not that easy to deal with when you don't have... The Tracer pick is honestly kind of interesting against the Pharah. We also see a Moira, too.
Yeah, I think the Tracer, I think they're just going to dedicate to taking out the ground enemies and kind of leave Pharah. If they want to leave Pharah up alone in the sky to deal with them, that's more than happy. Tracer, though, is going to go to the skies, is going to find the kill. Great work by Crime. Although a couple kills did go through for Drexel. Now the point is going to be contested. They still have Zarya, great anti there in Emran. He is going to fall, switching over to the Moira now. Yet again, Pest Control going to do work with that Railgun, and the Saints, they're going to need a quick toucher from Squeaker. This game's going to be over.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Saints. They literally need Squeak to touch, or else it's not looking good.
Squeak is going to pop the Primal, is going to clear some space here, but one of the Saints is going to have to be on that backside to make sure they keep the touch going. Emran going to find a kill onto the Lucio. Huge kill. Primal is still going to create that space, and it's going to get them a ton of value. They're going to drop 4 members of Drexel. They're going to probably get this point back now. It is pretty much going to be a staggered team kill. There it is. And now the Saints, it'll all come down to one more fight.
Yeah, and hopefully they can get it, because it would be nice to see the first game of this set to go to a
Third
3.
round. Yeah, it'll be the first game in I think 2 or 3 weeks they'll end up going the distance if that ends up being the case. So Sojourn gonna dive on, should be taken up by Squeak here, is going to be that. So now Drexel, the only problem now is you've lost one of your DPS right immediately. Now you have to kind of play that stagger spawn. Tracer Bomb not gonna find anything. Squeak is gonna get the kill onto Jeff Goldblum though, so Tank gonna be down. Gonna see a lot of hero swaps this round as well. For Dizzy over to the Echo, but still not gonna be enough, and the Saints are gonna come back and they're gonna take that round. When it looked down and out, they fight back and they end up taking that one to push it to the final round.
Yeah, and normally when it's that low, you have to just get your fastest heroes out. And Echo is quite fast at getting back to the point, but it just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, Pharah's good at getting vertically really fast, but she's not really a side to can't really move side to side or forward and backward that quickly. She's more plays top down, and we're gonna see the Reinhardt from Squeak this time. So now we're gonna see some adaptations from both sides. We're gonna see the Echo, I believe, still for Verdizzy. Gonna see Beef Stir Fry over on the Lucio. Zarya still gonna be in play there, and the Saints, they've been doing a lot of swapping, but as we mentioned the last game, the last series, that's just why it's important to have a deep hero pool, especially in the 5v5. We're gonna see G-Skills now in the Junkrat, and Junkrat, one of the stronger DPS for this site in general, so we'll have to see which team's composition decides, ends up working out better.
Yeah, it really seems that Verdizzy is really good at those flying champs like Pharah, like Echo. It's honestly quite interesting to see, considering normally we've seen the same kind of heroes picked.
Yeah, that's why it's super interesting how many teams can play differently. But look, the Saints immediately going to get a team kill. So their composition, I think I like it a little bit more with the Reinhardt and the Junkrat. You can have Reinhardt front check everything, keep that Junkrat alive in the back, and just pester with those grenades the entire time in the Saints. Fantastic job to start this round off, and we've seen some pretty diabolical things in this spawn before. They're going to be looking to repeat that from last week's games.
Yeah, considering it was a Reinhardt, and I believe a Junkrat as well last week, doing this exact same setup.
And it's just so hard to push the look at the Junkrat. You toss mines. They're going to try to use the Mei wall. They are going to actually use the wall decently enough to try to get through there. Lots of Sojourn damage on the backside. Crime is going to get tagged low. Immortality lamp is going to get popped up there. Lot of damage going through. He's going to get put to sleep there, but the Saints still on the positive end of these trades, and now Squeak trying to hold that front door as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, and maybe they can get around the Saints, but it's not looking like they can. Although, not that much percentage on the point, which is honestly interesting considering how long it's felt that they've been doing this for.
I know. Even though they took it pretty quickly, it does feel like forever. They are going to put Jeff Goldblum on the Reinhardt now. Bap, the ulti is going to come down, so the Saints, they're going to try to melt through the spawn here. Squeak going to get tagged down extremely low. Bap Lamp is going to save him for the time being, but G-Skills finds a tire, but a lot of trades are going to go through for both sides, and the Saints looking like they might come out of this one positively, but it looks like Crime not really in a great spot. Emran, though, might be able to find the kill on the Lucio. He is going to find it, but ooh, 3 HP. Does actually get the health pack as well. Now Crime, right click, Menace, gonna drop off Pest Control, gonna tag up the Rhine as well. Saints trying to push this back for 1 or 2 more fights to hold on here.
Yeah, it's looking nice. Double Rhine charge stun. I love when that happens.
I love a counter charge. Oh yeah, it's the best.
I also love when Break does it too.
Yeah.
For Gita.
Yeah, counter charge is huge.
It's really satisfying to watch, honestly.
Yeah. Even more satisfying to pull off as well. You know, like, especially if he's targeting one of your supports, one of the squishes, you're like, hey man, listen, I'm gonna step in front here, protect the president style. Pest Control though, gonna find 2 with the soldier knowledge. Jeff Goldman gonna ride up to the ceiling on the charge there, but it looks like Drexel, even though it's 99-0, they are not going quietly into the good night. Lucio gonna find himself a 2-piece, and Drexel finally gonna gain control. Yeah,
and not a moment too soon.
Yeah.
That was a great capture from Drexel.
Now the only problem is that Hina does have the nano, they have the junk tire, they have the shatter, so 3 ultimates that are extremely effective at holding a front door, although Crime is going to find that kill on Lucio. I believe the shatter just got blocked there by Squeak, even if it got through, and then Squeak edges the shatter of his own, going to find a couple. Reinhardt is going to get nano, junk tire comes through as well. Everyone investing everything. Squeak somehow alive here, is going to hang on for the time being. The Saints trying to hold on to this fight. G-Skills getting that backline damage going. Squeak charging almost to his death on the side there. Coalescence is going to go off for Emerald. Every single ultimate being burned. Both teams realizing how close this game is. It's on a knife's edge right now.
Yeah, and we see double Junkrat, but I don't think it's going to be enough because Saints has so many resources still available to them despite using so many, and I was correct. Yeah. That is going to be St. Clair's first win of this round.
Yeah, and great job by Emran. You know, switch over to the Moira, a little bit of DPS support action, so going to get a lot of value at the end of the game there. We are going to see, you know, quick play of the game here from Squeak, playing over on the Zarya, I believe, in one of the first 2 rounds here. So again, a character we feel like we see 80% of the play of the games is usually a Zarya ult, just like this one. Combo with something else, just as immense damage, but actually only going to see a couple. Just going to get almost a headshot with the grenade launcher, so fantastic job by the Saints yet again, and that's the most we've seen them tested the entire season.
Yeah, which is honestly fun to see because we just get more to watch.
Yeah, I think we are going to throw it to a very, 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 very quick break between, though. Let the players get a reset here, and then we'll be back on the other side with map 2. Saints up 1-0.
Really fits into any comp. She can be that off healer, main healer, because she does have a little bit of healing, but not the most. So she mainly fits into that off healer role.
They're going to see Crime. Lots of huge damage. G-Skills going to get the Dynamite kill, and Lucio being gone is going to spell pretty good for the Saints. Now Genji gone as well. The Saints, they are absolutely rolling Mizzou right now at this point, and honestly, barring some kind of crazy disaster, they're going to take this point within the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Now the Saints are feeling extremely good, and this payload is only mere meters away from being collected. So the Saints, I suspect it'll probably be a wait for a couple ultimates kind of move. Bob is going to come through for G-Scales. They're going to make the play now. Gravity is going to come through. Dragon Blade is going to come through as well for Anarchy, though, so a couple of trades go through. Going to be a 3-for-2. Bob going to find one, so this could be a staggered spawn for both sides. We'll have to be curious to who finishes it. G-Skills up to a 10 streak with the Saints. They're looking like they might win this round.
Yeah, with honestly not that much difficulty.
As we said, that time is not their friend.
Yeah, and although Saints have to walk a lot further, it's just not gonna look good considering they're like right in their spawn. We see a Dragon Blade on the side of Mizo.
Yeah, we saw the beat. I think we saw the Nano and the Dragon Blade, so a whole boatload of ultimates. We are going to see it end up being a 3-for-2 for the Saints, so ultimately, not going to be that bad of an exchange. Mizzou is doing such a good job. Even though they lost that first fight, all these choke points on King's Row are so hard to topple over, and that's why what the Saints did was honestly so impressive, and I think why they decided to like dive the spawn of Mizzou, because even though it's risky and if you die, you have to you have a very bad respawn, but if you win those first couple fights pushing that spawn, you're in fantastic position. Red X is going to use a Kitsune Rush. Prime and G-Scales, VPS getting it done yet again. Kiriko going to get a couple of assists there as well. G-Scales getting to Squeak, going to find one. That's going to be a team kill for St. Clair. And
the first area is a little easier.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult to not push past into the second area, but this second area is quite rough considering there's so much openness.
Yeah, and that's the story of a lot of Overwatch maps. The first area is usually not as bad to get into once you get to that second, third choke point with the... And welcome back, and if you're feeling a sense of deja vu because of the first 2 maps being the same, it is because they are. We saw Lijiang Tower first map both sides, and then obviously loser picks in the NACE format. Drexel going with Saints or King's Row, as it's called in Overwatch, so definitely one of the comfort picks for the Saints. A lot of teams feel like this is their comfort pick as well, so Drexel gonna have to battle back, try to take this second map here to even things up, because the Saints, there was a very, very hard fought back and forth, went to the third round on Lijiang, but ultimately they did come out on top, so now Drexel looking for the answer.
Yeah, and King's Row is honestly one of like 3 of this format, so it's not honestly shocking that we're seeing King's Row again, considering I think it's literally Perry ESO this one and like one other one.
Yeah, there's a reason we've been seeing it for 6 years.
Exactly.
Now, I wonder what kind of character selection we are going to see. I'm guessing, yeah, we're going to see a couple Zaryas, going to see the Sojourn. We are going to see Arjunk actually back in the game now. So Arjunk going to be on, his good old Baptiste, his #1 comfort pick. Going to see Emerin back on the DPS on the Genji. Crime still going to be in the game. G-Scales going to be, taking a seat for this one, but obviously, he performed extremely, extremely well. So, the Saints just trying to get everybody in there, trying to get everyone some rub in the lobbies here, and we're going to see how they're able to play off this first start of King's Row.
Yeah, and the roster switch is not shocking considering it was so close last game. They want to put their best in this time, and not saying G-Scales isn't their best, but they want to do as much as they can to get this second win.
Yeah, and the good thing is, if we hadn't seen, like, say, this composition for the Saints too often, you can kind of catch Drexel by surprise if they're expecting maybe G-Scale certain pool. Then like we said, that's why you have the multiple role flex. You switch Emerin back onto the DPS. We know Arjunk is a lockdown on the backline on the support there, so you can kind of mix it up for Drexel, try to catch him off guard, although they look like they're a little step ahead of the Saints here. They're pretty much walked all over this point, and they're going to end up capturing this one fairly easily.
Yeah, I'm honestly shocked because last stream we saw just how quickly Saints captured this point. Now we get to see someone else capture this point really quickly. Yeah,
and that first point on King's Row is very, very tricky to hold, especially on the defending side there. So it's not always the craziest thing to see a team kind of drop the first 2 fights and lose the point like that. But now Drexel, they know the game plan. Push back into this spawn, and somebody walk that payload up the entire way solo dolo, and they're going to take a page out of the Saints book, which is a very popular play nonetheless, but they're going to try to hold the Saints back here. Now the Saints got to battle off this back foot.
Yeah, although Saints is getting a lot further than we saw last time. Last time they literally pushed them all the way back into that second point, but thankfully we're seeing a lot more of this map.
Yeah, that Zarya ult was absolutely massive for Drexel. I believe they had 4 members in the flux. They're going to find 4 picks off the back of it. Pest control. There's nothing easier. It's like shooting fish in a barrel with Sojourn. When everyone's stuck in that gravity, it is right-click city all day with that railgun. And look at Drexel. This payload is absolutely flying through the map. We're going to see Squeak now. Going to charge up with the Reinhardt, and Reinhardt is basically, Zarya is great. Reinhardt is basically, I'm going to jump on this point, sit with the support in my pocket, and I am not going to let you try to walk this payload down. But we're going to see a couple ultimates online for both sides. Dragon Blade for Verdizzi is going to go through. Beat is going to get popped as well, so going to try to find some picks here, try to find some value. Going to get tagged up, but ultimately not going to find as much as he's looking to get there. Beat is going to go in for Drexel as well, or the window as well, so ultimates on both sides coming through, and it looks like Drexel might be on the upper hand here as well.
Yeah, we see a Mei pick, which we haven't seen until now, but it's just not strong enough. We see a team kill on Drexel's side.
Yeah, we are going to need to see an all-time defensive hold from the Saints, because right now Drexel is firing on all cylinders. The Saints can't really do a whole lot this game. They're kind of trapped in that back spawn. They haven't really found that answer. We've seen a couple hero swaps. Now Emerin is going to have the Blizzard ultimate, so they can possibly try to set up some kind of choke point play, catch Drexel slacking, and they're going to need to get value out of their ultimates. The Blizzard is going to come through, going to slow a lot of members down, and they should be able to find a boatload of picks off of it, and it looks like they will. Squeak going to be able to hold that front line for the time being, but nonetheless, an excellent hold, although you still got 4 minutes, 40 seconds to play with, so you're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough hold for Saints if they really want to push this back and get any kind of agency into the next game. Yeah, we've seen them push the payload fast, but you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself, as we mentioned what they did to the other teams last game, where you got to push it, but you basically have to play a flawless round, and the Mei actually looks like it might be playing off pretty well. You can catch people on, split the team on the other side of the spawns, and now the Saints are finally going to take that pressure back. They're going to gather that space. Mei going to jump into the ice block to stay alive. They did find 4 picks as well there, so
If they can slowly inch their progress back forward here, they can start to stunt Drexel a little bit. And if they can get this timer to even something around the line of like 2 minutes, a minute 45, they're going to be in significantly better shape to run the comeback after.
Yeah, and just anything below 2 minutes is going to be really good.
Yeah.
Just they need to
Gotta get there.
This point.
Yeah. We're going to see another huge play. Wow. Saints are going marching yet again. Team kill on the backside. They're going to take out all 5. Drexel, though, going to have a lot of ultimates in the back pocket. St. Clair going to have a couple of their own to duel with here. So it's ultimately going to come down to a battle of wills here. The Saints, remember, it was 5 minutes when this payload started pushing. They're now down to 3:15. So they're doing a very good job to kind of stall out Drexel. And if they can survive this little wave of ultimates, they might put themselves in a very, very strong position for the next round.
Yeah, and both sides have a lot of ultimates to use here. It just depends on how well they're used.
Lucio 1v1ing the Genji. Red X, you love to see it. Now Crime gonna pop the Railgun ultimate, gonna find that kill onto the Lucio. So sup DPS down. Saints are absolutely gonna have the advantage this fight. Squeak still holding that front line as the Reinhardt. Saints, though, only had to burn 1 ultimate to win that last fight. They have Ardrink with the ultimate, they have the Window, they got the Blizzard, and they got the Beat. 2 of which are going to get popped right now. The Saints realize if we get to that 2-minute mark and we really start to take control here, we can absolutely start to snowball this game, and they are going to take the kill on Jeff Goldblum. Has control, though. Going to find the re-trigger on Redux, and Drexel, they're making a really strong pusher on the backside of those ultis.
Yeah, we see two characters go down, but maybe they can just hold a little bit longer to go below 2 minutes.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing is they're still, Drexel, even though the payload is relatively close to being pushed, they still have probably 25-30 seconds of actually walking the payload to get it to that endpoint. So the Saints are going to be stuck with, you know, a minute 15, a minute 30 in absolute worst case scenario. So they're honestly starting to feel, I think, pretty good. Obviously, you never wanted it to get this far, but now that it's here and you've held like you have, at least you're getting enough trades as well. They're not really outright winning team fights, but if it goes down to a 3v3, you're not really able to have any agency to push that payload. So they're doing a great job, and now we are going to see the Diva swap coming through. So Drexel, they're realizing now it's time to get on that payload, dive it, and try to stall out now at this point.
Yeah, I just don't know what's going to happen. They have held this point for so long. Maybe it'll get a timeout, but I don't see it likely considering Drexel is just pushing right now.
Yeah, they are going to have Shatter here in just a few seconds. Ardrunk does have the window ready. Once this Shatter comes online, it's going to have to be an absolutely gargantuan one. He is going to find at least 2, should be able to find a few picks. Lamp is going to go up, going to go for the charge kill as well. So Squeak, even though he wasn't the biggest Shatter of all time, you're going to get enough value to try to get that stall, although Drexel is going to find a few picks on the backside of it. They are going to keep that Diva just alive in time as well, so looks like Drexel may actually end up taking this point. They're going to get a pretty good push here, and the Saints are going to really have to bite back here to save this one.
Yeah, considering they're just about to get to the end, and I don't think Saints can get on this point and save it long enough for it to get to the end.
They did hit the Blizzard. Now Crime is going to get the Railgun kill on Genji. They're going to find a second one as Crime. I believe that might actually be his third, and they're going to keep shoving. Going to find a team kill pretty much beside the Baptiste. Yeah, Bap on the staggered respawn is going to be the team kill. Now only 25 seconds to play. It's going to be a bit of a long walk for Drexel and the Saints. They might just be able to squeak this one out and hold it from closing out.
Yeah, we saw the ball and now into Diva, which is honestly the maximum amount of pressure to save this point. The Drexel really needs to get on that point in 5 seconds, or else they're not pushing it to the end.
They do have the Diva Bomb. Crime did pop the Railgun ultimate as well. Diva Bomb is going to probably be used momentarily here to try to create that space. Crime, huge kill on the Lucio. That's going to be one of your stall out heroes as well, so you're going to try to take that mobility out. Window is going to go up for the side of Drexel, I believe there. They're going to try to find some picks. Junkrat finds one. They are going to get traded out. Diva Bomb should be able to take out. Crime is going to slide out of the way, so Cameron finds a kill as well. The Saints do a great job to swerve the Diva Bomb. They're going to keep going here. They're going to demac the Diva, and honestly, if Drexel can't get a touch here, the Saints are going to somehow win this one.
Yeah.
Or close it out.
Yeah, Diva does remac on the side. Nope, she died, and that is a close game with 2 points, and they did not get that third.
That is the definition of a bend but don't break defense. The Saints, they were arching their backs, trying to hold that line there as long as possible. Drexel bearing down on them the entire time. There was no stop in their movement. And St. Clair somehow able, I think it was 2 meters away at its closest, able to keep that thing out of there. And now they're going to have a chance to run it back. And now the name of the game is get that sucker to the end, and you're walking out of King's Row with the win.
Yeah, as long as they push it all the way to the end, they win this one too.
Yep. Because Drexel, yeah, they only had, I think, 2 meters to go, so you're pretty much going to have to, you know, drive this one all the way back into the opposing end zone here to get this win. And ultimately now the time doesn't matter. You wanted, like we said earlier, when there was 4 minutes and they were already at the second time bonus, then the time really starts to play in your mind. But when you hold like you just did and not allow them to actually get the finish as well, everything kind of went as good as it could have the second half there. But now they have an entire round of their own to try to repeat that.
Yeah, and with Winston, Sombra, and Moira on the side of Saints, that's an interesting choice to push into this, into Drexel, considering you don't normally see the 3 of them honestly go full aggressive, especially Sombra. I normally see her more on the defensive, honestly.
Yeah, I think maybe that's going to be a counter to try to take out the tank of Drexel, because even I think Sombra, I mean, her hack is on like a 4-second cooldown, so she's just going to be trying to hack that Orisa the entire game, get that Orisa offline, because Orisa after the rework is pretty nasty to deal with. So Sombra probably going to be, you know, that solo trying to deal with Orisa, get that out, clear that space, but we will ultimately have to see how things play out here moving forward.
Yeah, I'm really interested on the side of Drexel because this comp is really interesting, seeing Orisa and Echo and getting a lot of kills, but Saints also get just as many kills.
There are a few things as like satisfying as Soldier landing a right-click headshot. I swear, there's few better feelings in all of Overwatch, but Drexel, they're withstanding so far. They're able to find a few picks of their own. They found Squeak getting a little too aggressive. That Immortality Lamp came in clutch a few moments ago, and now Squeak once again trying to keep them off that front line so they can at least capture this first tick of progress. They are going to get the first one. Sombra going to get Orisa tagged down low. Immortality Lamp is going to come through. They're going to take it out right away. Going to get the hack on Orisa. Orisa should fall here. They will get the kill. So just as I said, Sombra going to be basically on horse duty the entire game. Is going to find the kill on Echo as well. And Squeak to round things out in the Saints with a massive team kill. They're going to have a little bit of time to play with now if they want to.
They didn't quite get that capture as quickly as Drexel did, but it's going to be quite a good capture considering they still have so much time left.
Yeah, having 5 minutes, you're feeling damn good after that, especially, you know, it can be a little tricky. If you lose those first couple fights at that control point, it can get a little bit sticky for you. It can be really hard to mount that comeback, but now you're able to get past that first wave. You're just going to try to get this poke damage, and that is one thing the Moira is really good for, is, you know, dealing with the squishies, throwing the damage orbs down the like random hallways so it makes the walk in with half health. Coalescence is going to get popped though, and the Soldier ulti as well, so we're going to see a huge back and forth. Not a ton of value out of the Cole so far, though. The Saints are finding a lot of damage. Window is going to go live as well, along with the beat. So Drexel answering with some ultimates of their own, and they seem to be doing quite well, all things considered. Yeah,
but we do see, of course, Primal Rage kind of holding someone in place, but also getting that kill on the Lucio.
Change CCing the Lucio, poor guy. That's the worst part about getting stuck in the Primal. If you get stuck in a room with the Primal Rage, not really a whole lot you can do. That was one of the most mobile characters in Lucio, and you're basically just getting juggled in a corner like it's a round of Tekken or something. There's not really a whole lot you can do on the backside, and we're seeing Emran do a lot of work on this Sombra, and Sombra has, I think, one of the best ultimates in the entire game. You just EMP, you hack the entire team in a small radius, and on the back of that, you can make an insane play, especially if she's sneaking around that back line, jumping off, you know, there's verticality in that second stretch. She can make a huge play. She is going to pop it, and she is going to find one pick, and they should find a lot of damage here. They are. Sojourn going to be getting a ton of damage in, but not going to find quite the picks just yet to get this final push.
With a flank from Squeak getting some kills, and we see another team kill, or
essentially,
I think Echo was dead before, so it was that stagger team kill. That
dead or running for her life.
Wow, they're really pushing far with Sombra basically like in their base.
Yeah, Emran, this Sombra has absolutely been the right play. I think she's found extreme value to hacks. Like we said, Sombra is receiving a small nerf in the near future, but it's not to do with the cooldown of her hacks. So every 4 seconds, you could just chain hack somebody pretty much, and especially before the update, she's still in the exact same state. So it's a very tricky character to deal with, but nonetheless, one you have to make sure you deal with on that backline. We're going to see Ardrunk over on the Moira now, trying to make some plays, and the Saints right now, they're trying not to overcommit too much. You're trying to play back, use a couple ultimates, and then try to get these last couple shoves, but you can see they're trying to take spawn control. They do not want to mess around.
Yeah. And something interesting about Sombra, not only does she have that really short cooldown for her hack, but she can also hack while invisible now, which is just
probably the biggest
insane.
Annoying thing.
Yeah. You see a little bit of kills on the side of Drexel. Maybe, and then it's a pickup from Squeak, but it's just not enough unless we get, is it Emerald on? Yes, it is on Sombra. Hopefully she can get into this spawn and just hope that she can push this point.
She's just gonna stay invisible until a teammate gets up there, then maybe try to go for the hack. She's gonna hack the Ana there, try to get the takeout, but just enough heals to keep her going there. We're gonna see a lot of ultimates for Drexel. St. Clair still trying to build up to them. Red X can be back over on that Kiriko, so now a little more mobility. You get the TP, worrying about the cleanse, maybe to worry about the antis from Ana or things of that nature.
Yeah.
We're gonna see the Diva Bomb come through, not gonna find anything, luckily. Now Squeak is gonna pop Primal. Gonna try to jump up. He is gonna get taken out by the Diva Bomb though, actually, inevitably, so somehow gonna get taken out there in Pest Control. Beautiful job, the headshot Crime and Drexel. They are fighting back with a vengeance, and they're gonna hold this for at least the next fight or two.
Yeah. I honestly think that Kiriko was the right choice. Moira and Bap were getting them to this point, but I think you just need something to push a little bit further.
They need some of those 200 damage throwing knife headshots from her, but
yeah.
Gonna get a lot of value either way, especially when they get that Kitsune rush. They're gonna send the monkey, they're gonna send everybody right down Main Street, W King, and they're gonna try to make some kind of crazy play, but Pest Control has been on fire for the side of Drexel, seemingly hitting every single railgun shot, every one of their ultimate shots. EMP is gonna go through, so this is the Saints' time to try to make a play. Multiple members are gonna be hacked. The beat is gonna come through though to save the hack job, and now they're gonna have to try to reassess the Saints. They're gonna probably have to back up on this one. That beat was very clutch timing.
Yeah, and of course we see Genji swapping from the Sojourn into the Genji, and honestly, Genji is probably a correct play here, but Sojourn was, of course, getting them here too.
And we see Verdizzi actually, switched to that Reaper, got a little backline death blast in there, was able to find one pick, so Saints still only 14 meters away, but this is a pretty back and forth fight. Drexel is on the man advantage here. They found a couple picks. DPS and tank being down. Now Red X going to fall to Pest as well. And yeah, the Saints, they still have a little bit of progress to go. They have a minute and a half to play with still, so it's definitely doable, but this is going to come down to a Sombra EMP, the Primal Rage trying to take space, and then you're going to ultimately need Crime to pop off with that Dragon Blade. They're not going to have the Nano in their back pocket for this fight.
A minute 20 is so little time in this game, considering they still have like 3-ish meters to push to get to that win.
Yeah, they have 14. Yeah, they were a little closer. It got pushed back a little bit. So now they did about 14 meters to match. It'd be 15 to end up winning there. We're going to see the Dragon Blade come through. Lucio is going to fall, so huge picks for St. Clair. Reaper going to fall. They are actually going to find a few. Like we said, the Primal and the Dragon Blade being popped. Diva Bomb to try to equalize things. Not going to get the job done. And the Saints find the team kill they need. And it looks like they will find the win they need. The contest might not come through. It will not make it in time. The Saints, by the skin of their teeth, will take out Drexel on King's Row.
Yeah, and of course, 5s and 6s, they look so similar. That's why
I know. Listen, they were pixels away. We all know it. And Pest Control play the game. Not surprising. I feel like I called this guy's name so many times. Look how strong Sojourn is. Just look at instantly right-clicking when someone gets down to 1 HP. The beat drop comes through. No matter. Just land a couple of those railgun shots. That's slow as well. So much damage into choke points. And honestly, phenomenal series by Drexel so far.
Yeah, and especially that window using the railgun just pushed so hard. That window for railgun is terrifying.
Yeah, infinitely scaling one shot from anywhere on the map distance, plus the left click spray and the slow. Yeah, it's a nasty combination. The Saints luckily finding the combo they needed to take that one in the end, but in typical fashion, we're going to take a quick, probably 2-minute break. We'll get in on the other side with map 3, which will be announced just after the break.
Really fits into any comp. She can be that off healer, main healer, because she does have a little bit of healing, but not the most, so she mainly fits into that off healer role.
They're going to see Crime. Lots of huge damage. These skills can get the dynamite kill, and Lucio being gone is going to spell pretty good for the Saints. Now Genji gone as well. The Saints, they are absolutely rolling Mizzou right now at this point, and honestly, barring some kind of crazy disaster, they're going to take this point within the first 30 seconds. Now the Saints are feeling extremely good, and this payload is only mere meters away from being collected. So the Saints, I suspect it'll probably be a wait for a couple ultimates kind of move, Bob is going to come through for G-Scales. They're going to make the play now. Gravity is going to come through. Dragon Blade is going to come through as well for Anarchy, though, so a couple of trades go through. Going to be a 3-for-2. Bob going to find one, so this could be a staggered spawn for both sides. We'll have to be curious to who finishes it. G-Scales up to a 10 streak with the Saints. They're looking like they might win this round.
Yeah, with honestly not that much difficulty.
As we said, that time is not their friend.
Yeah, and although Saints have to walk a lot further, it's just not gonna look good considering they're like right in their spawn. We see a Dragon Blade on the side of Mizo.
Yeah, we saw the beat. I think we saw the Nano and the Dragon Blade, so a whole boatload of ultimates. We are going to see it end up being a 3-for-2 for the Saints, so ultimately, not going to be that bad of an exchange. Mizzou is doing such a good job. Even though they lost that first fight, all these choke points on King's Row are so hard to topple over, and that's why what the Saints did was honestly so impressive, and I think why they decided to like dive the spawn of Mizzou, because even though it's risky and if you die, you have to you have a very bad respawn, but if you win those first couple fights pushing that spawn, you're in fantastic position. Red X is going to use a Kitsune Rush. Prime and G-Scales, DPS getting it done yet again. Kiriko going to get a couple of assists there as well. G-Scales getting to Squeak, going to find one. That's going to be a team kill for St. Clair. And
the first area is a little easier.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult to not push past into the second area, but this second area is quite rough considering there's so much openness.
Yeah, and that's the story of a lot of Overwatch maps. The first area is usually not as bad to get into. Once you get to that second, third choke point with the time bonuses, things get a little bit sticky. We're going to see the Blade pop and with Primal Rage. Prime going to find the kill. Prime actually going to deflect the railgun shot back into Cabby, so I don't think I've seen that one too often before. They have the Nano, they have they have the Tracer Bomb as well, so they're going to look to make this final push, and they're going to look for this win condition here real soon.
Yeah, and Primal Rage is almost up, so it could be a Primal Rage Nano boost, but it's... never mind.
they just want to get for the win right now. Yeah, I think they're honestly feeling really good if they can get this push. Only 3.14 meters, only pi meters left in this game. G-Scales is going to find that kill. Now down to 3, down to 1.5 meters. The Saints will get the 5.
And Kiriko really fits into any comp. She can be that off healer, main healer, because she does have a little bit of healing, but not the most. So she mainly fits into that off healer role.
They're going to see Prime. Lots of huge damage. G-Skills going to get the Dynamite kill, and Lucio being gone is going to spell pretty good for the Saints. Now Genji gone as well. The Saints, they are absolutely rolling Mizzou right now at this point, and honestly, barring some kind of crazy disaster, they're going to take this point within the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Now the Saints are feeling extremely good, and this payload is only mere meters away from being collected. So the Saints, I suspect it'll probably be a wait for a couple ultimates kind of move. Bob is going to come through for G-Scales. They're going to make the play now. Gravity is going to come through. Dragon Blade is going to come through as well for Anarchy, though, so a couple of trades go through. Going to be a 3-for-2. Bob going to find one, so this could be a staggered spawn for both sides. We'll have to be curious to who finishes it. G-Skills up to a 10 streak with the Saints. They're looking like they might win this round.
Yeah, with honestly not that much difficulty.
As we said, that time is not their friend.
Yeah, and although Saints have to walk a lot further, it's just not gonna look good considering they're like right in their spawn. We see a Dragon Blade on the side of Mizo.
Yeah, we saw the beat. I think we saw the Nano and the Dragon Blade, so a whole boatload of ultimates. We are going to see it end up being a 3-for-2 for the Saints, so ultimately, not going to be that bad of an exchange. Mizzou is doing such a good job. Even though they lost that first fight, all these choke points on King's Row are so hard to topple over, and that's why what the Saints did. And to round out potentially our final map of the evening in this doubleheader, St. Clair College up 2-0 on Drexel. We are going to be taking a look at one of the new maps. We saw this map last week. The Saints, they may have been a little bit successful on it, and I will leave it at that. If you've seen the clips, you know what I'm talking about, but we are over on Circuit Royale here. The Saints looking to close things out, as I just mentioned, and this map is a little interesting. It's a lot of, you're basically driving a cart uphill for the game mode, so it can be a little bit tricky, but it opens up for a lot of potential for like hero options.
Yeah, and although I would love for Saints to finish right here, I do really want to see a push map, honestly.
You want to see Toronto?
We haven't seen push all season so far, and push is so fun to watch.
Yeah, I want to see them play the New Queen Street, which is literally a 1-to-1 of Toronto. So I would love to see New Queen Street at some point. Oh, the way the Saints have been playing, especially the back half of this series. I mean, Drexel, they could definitely push this one to a map 4. They've done really well the first couple of maps, but the Saints, they seem to just find that edge right when they need it, right in crunch time. They seem to buckle down, and Now, once again, Red X going to get first blood. Kiriko headshotting a Widow. So if you need an answer of how strong Kiriko is, there it is for you in a nutshell.
Yeah, I think Kiriko literally has like 100% more than Widow does, or 50% or something.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And you have Prime putting in work on the Widow as well. The Saints off to a very, very strong start. We're going to see the Sigma coming out this time for Squeak. So Sigma, a lot of these choke points, he is excellent. You use the shields. You can either set the shields to block off the top part of the highway so you can defend your supports and your long-range DPS, or you put the shield down low, protect your tank, protect your frontliners there. As I said, that's why I love Circuit Royale. There's so much you can do. There's so many options, and seeing both teams already bringing a slightly different comp that we saw the last few games.
Yeah, this map is really fun to commentate, but also just to honestly watch and play. Although I really don't like the payload. I don't like how it looks. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, minor details, okay? At least the map was good. The payload, there's a little bit to be desired there, let's be honest, but luckily the map itself designed well enough, and we'll see it back and forth with the Sigmas there, trying to battle it out. We've seen the Widow duel going back and forth. We've seen a couple kills go through on each side, so both teams, you know, struggling to find this back and forth. Drexel, they have gotten some payload progress, and usually on a map like this, unless you like convincingly win the first 2-3 fights, you're going to give a little bit of leeway to this payload. You don't want to give up the time bonus, but you're going to give a little bit of space on the road and try to play to that top part of the highway. But Drexel right now doing a great job walking it down.
God, they might just get to this first point, which of course is different than capturing a point. It's just pushing the payload, but they might get it like right away. Oh, not right away. They are 2 minutes down, I think, when you start at 4 minutes.
Yeah, but quick enough at least. Yeah, we're going to see the Sigma ult is going to be available. Great headshot there. Prime going to find the pick there. Squeak going to find one with the ultimate as well. Going to find a second onto the Widow. Going to find a third. Squeak with 3. Going to fall to Goldblum, but nonetheless is going to get 3 for his trouble. And the Widow going to dive in. They're going to find that next kill. So payload getting right on the verge of that time bonus, but fantastic job by Squeak to shut things down there.
Yeah, and honestly, that was a really good play from Prime, considering he didn't even use his long-range sniper. He just used the machine gun, which is just honestly kind of satisfying to see him go in and shoot him down. Yeah,
when you're watching Widow gameplay, you're typically not seeing the run and gun with the SMG, although that's why the grapple hook and the SMG are there. For the times when someone's low, you can run in there and find those shots with Prime. Trying to find those backbend headshots. Kitsune Rush is going to get popped by Red X. Emran has an ultimate online as well. They could potentially chain these together, but Red X is going to get taken out nice and quick. They are going to find some picks, though. Emran and Squeak going to work. Pest Control once again. I feel like we've been calling this guy's name the entire day, but relentlessly finding kills. Emran is going to get a massive shutdown in this payload. Slowly walking backwards, and just as we said, they had some time. Only 40 seconds now, and Emran is finding kills left, right, and center on this Sojourn.
With only 30 seconds left, and they did not get that first point. They are sitting tight and pretty for this first push on Circuit Royale.
And Beef Stir-Fry is only going to have the beat up, so Drexel's not really going to have anything they can chain together. They're going to have to find 1 or 2 picks to open this site up. St. Clair is going to have the window. They are going to use it right away. They realize this could be the last fight of the game. B is going to go off as well. So Drexel investing a lot here. They know they have to try to make this push. They are going to find a couple kills. For Dizzy is going to pick up a pair there. They're going to keep going here. Squeak, huge ultimate, going to send 3 into the air. Is going to take out the Immortality Field. Going to get a lot of damage, but no kills coming through just yet. Those supports keeping them in the game. Emran is going to find 2 there. Peanut is going to trade him out. Now Jeff Goldblum is going to find one as well. So the Saints, despite their best efforts there, they will fall that first point, and the time bonus will kick in there for Drexel.
Yeah, honestly, what would have been so cool is if Squeak had blitzed them off the point like during overtime and kept them up.
That would have been
I love when that happens with the Sigma.
That's why, the beauty of how many outplays with other heroes. Like, I don't need to kill you guys. I just need you to manually C9 you off the point and try to take matters into your own hands. And now the Saints going to be backing up a little more. Luckily, they played that time pretty low for the first payload. So Drexel, they do have a little bit of time to play with, but not ideally as much as you'd like. Emran, once again, going to find the headshot there on the Peanut and the Saints. This can be a pretty tricky spot to hold, especially you're pretty much fighting at an off angle the entire way. Lots of damage, massive kill to take out the Sigma there, and now the Saints. The thing about Overwatch 2 is once that tank is dead, if the other team's tank is alive, you pretty much have to concede the fight, barring some kind of like super heroic play.
Yeah, and we actually see a Soldier instead of, I believe it was the Widow swap.
Yeah.
Honestly, quite interesting. You don't see Soldier that much, considering Sojourn is basically better Soldier at this point.
Yeah, Emran is going to be on the Sojourn, so not able to steal the swap there. And
yeah.
Soldier, I think now they're fighting at these short corner angles, a much better choice, a lot more close range damage.
Yeah.
We're going to see Dragon Blade. I believe the window comes up as well, and I thought we saw the Kitsune rush popping as well. Emran going to go, so we're seeing a bunch of ults for both sides. Going to see a couple of trades. Drexel looks like they're on the winning side of things for the time being. Jeff Goldblum once again diving this front line, doing such a good job to keep the Saints shoved back, and he's going to get a lot of damage here at Drexel. They're going to get a good push here as well.
Yeah, and they do have hit scan ult, I guess, from Soldier. Like, what do you really call that?
Aimbot?
Yeah, aimbot.
Literally aimbot. Yeah. You flick the visor and you don't need to aim. Look at you just hold left click and let God take the rest there.
Exactly.
They are going to trade out. Let's say actually going to get the deflect with the visor. So for Dizzy, great job to use that deflect to shut down the ult. Now we're going to see a massive back and forth once again right at this time bonus choke point.
Genji deflects are
cringe.
So
cringe. Yeah.
Just anytime something like that happens, my body just kind of revolts from how disgusting those plays are.
You build up an entire ult charge just for Genji to click a 5-second cooldown button and shove it right back in your face. Crime, luckily, on the Genji. Going to put in some work. Arjunk, they're going to hang in just to save this point. Only 5 seconds to play. They're not going to be able to get the touch. Peanut's not going to make it. And just like that, Drexel, they're not going to get the touch. So St. Clair, very, very good hold. And that's something you can definitely work with. Only 88 meters to play with. They actually, this is very, very, very manageable.
Yeah, I'm really nervous for what's going to happen, considering they did honestly kind of get quite far, but it's could go either way with this game.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing, is that you see how hard it was for St. Clair to kind of hold that area. It goes the same way for the other team. There's always those tough choke points, especially like we said, running up on that highway. It's very, very tricky to play those off angles. There's so many different heroes that you can kind of throw out there and make work. And even when you pop that visor, sometimes, Genji's going to deflect it back at you. So there's so many elements to worry about. And probably going to see a couple of Widows yet again. We're going to see a similar style to last time. You pull out the Widows, worry about those long-range picks. Arjunk actually going to be on the Zen this time, though. And Zen, if you know Overwatch, Zen, very, very good.
Yeah, he's very good at taking down those tanks with his Discord orb, especially considering they have 2 technical snipers. Widow just can really get those headshots and destroy, especially with those Discord orbs.
You could argue St. Clair has 4 snipers right now.
Yeah, honestly.
Red X and Zen, Red X and Arjunk, you can easily, snipe people from the back with the orbs and the throwing knives. And then Emran and Crime, you need to say anything else besides Sojourn and Widow, and then Squeak just holding down that front line. So St. Clair, they clearly want to just, as much long-range damage, try to pick off the Lucio, try to take out the Bap or the Genji, and then try to swing on Drexel ultimately. But Pest Control, once again, no matter what hero you put him on, this guy is going to find headshots.
Yeah, with Sojourn going down immediately there.
Yeah, Pest already be at 35% ulti, so just a couple picks early on and you can get yourself going pretty easily. And Drexel right now just trying to absorb that first push of St. Clair. And like we said last time, usually you give a little bit of space at the start here, because if you overcommit to a fight, it can literally get walked up to the first time bonus slot. So you don't want to, overcommit and play your hand too early.
Yeah, and of course, having ultimate charge is really good for any person, but Widow's ult is kind of not the most.
It's nice, but it's not,
Yeah, with Widow's ult could be better.
Yeah, let's just. There's a lot to be desired nonetheless, although it's great to get it early. Red X, gonna get harassed up top there. It's gonna TP down to try to save the Sigma there, try to keep Squeak going. Arjun could be sending those orbs out. He is going to find the pick onto the tank, so now St. Clair, that's their move. They're going to take that. That is the win condition for this team fight. The tank is down. Everybody, W key and shove and take as much space as possible before he gets on that respawn.
Yeah, and Widow going down, but he does trade out for the Zen. It's looking quite good for St. Clair, considering they're already rounding up on this first point. But I did say that last round, so...
Yeah, the shoe can go on the other foot very easily. We are going to see the Kitsune rush. We're going to see the Sigma ult as well. Red X going to find the headshot. I think Crime getting the assist there as well. Now Squeak is trying to hold this staircase, trying to hold it down. Tracer be playing up top as well. Sticky Bomb is going to go out. I think find some damage. Not going to find the pick quite yet. And now the picks are going to come through. A lot of members low damage. Genji down to 1. 3 are going to fall for Drexel. Widow at 1 going to fall as well. And it will end up being probably a team kill for the Saints. And just like that, it will be a staggered team kill. They get that first point, and now They'd only need 87 meters to close this one out, and they got 4 minutes, 20 seconds to do so.
Yeah, just getting into overtime honestly kind of screwed Drexel over a little bit, but who knows, maybe they can hold for 4 minutes like we saw last game on Kings Row or the Saints.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's possible, but I hate being in that position. I know how tough it is because, you know, one mistake can result in the end. Emran gonna find the melee kill on the Widow there, so try to open things up. Maybe the Saints do a really good job of once they find that pick and they think they even smell blood in the water, they absolutely send it. Crime gonna find 3 and Redx gonna find the 4, so the Sniper Sisters getting it done right there. Both members gonna result in 4 kills for the Saints, and they're going to walk this payload probably up to about 75, 80 meters before any smell of a contestant. They're only going to need maybe one more team fight. They have the Transcendence online. They're close to having the Sticky Bomb and the Kitsune Rush as well, but Drexel, they have a lot of stuff in their back pocket, and they're going to have to use it because only 10 meters to go.
Yeah, and Emran does flank and gets a Sticky Bomb, but doesn't get anything and honestly gets killed for it instead.
Yeah, I believe the Sigma ult came through for Drexel there. Didn't find quite as much as they were looking for. The Genji, the Dragon Blade is online. The beat got popped as well. Genji's going to be tagged down low. They're going to find a few kills though, so Drexel, fantastic job all. Lots of members were very, very low, but just making it out of that fight alive. They're going to take out Squeak, and 2 meters to go, but the Saints are going to have to reset here and retool, and not a lot of ultimates to play with either. This should be an interesting fight how things end here.
Yeah, considering they're like this close to getting that final kill.
They're less than 1 meter.
I know, but we have a Window and Dragon Blade online for Drexel and an almost Gravity Flux? Is that what?
Yeah, I think Gravity Flux,
Sigma and Zarya's ult.
I was literally going to say the same thing. Yeah, they both did the same thing to me in my head. Yeah, I was literally going to say that, call them both the same thing, but
exactly.
Now the Saints regrouping on this payload, going to try to find some way. Kitsune Rush is online. They are going to use it right away, so Redx going to initiate things. Dragon Blade is going to come in. Massive Sigma ult going to catch 4 in the air. Lamp does come down, but kills are going to come through. Emran, Squeak, and Redx all getting on the board there. This might be the push the Saints are looking for. Gonna try to take out Peanut here. They're gonna drop the Genji. Prime gonna find that pick onto Peanut. Gonna look for this second shot as well. Not gonna find it, but the Saints might be able to gather some space. Squeak is gonna fall. 2 for 2 gonna go through. Still being contested, and the Saints, they should be able to walk this through. Just a Genji contest left, and this will be all she wrote, and that will be all she wrote. The Saints are gonna break through the ceiling there, and they will end up taking an undefeated night, only dropping, I believe, a single round.
Yeah, with on Lijiang Tower, which is honestly surprising considering how well they've been doing on Lijiang Tower.
Exactly,
Crime getting this. This was such a good play, honestly. So many headshots, so many.
Oh, keep going.
Yeah, those were.
Crime, life sentence for Drexel, shutting them down there right at the end, and the Saints put together a fantastic night of Overwatch, winning 3-0 over Mizzou, and then taking it 3-0 over Drexel, playing Lijiang, Kings Row, and then Circuit Royale ultimately to end things off there. But just a phenomenal job by everybody. Despite the roster, they had a couple swaps as well, and things still went their way.
Yeah, making it now 4-0 on the side of Saints. We don't know if it's 2-1 or 3-1 or we don't know how their game went, but it's definitely a 1 on the side of Drexel now.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job shutting it down, holding it down. They finally, they had a contest, they had a series go, finally pushed them to the limits. Mizzou, not so much. Drexel really, really gave it to them there in that back half, but that is going to be all we wrote for Overwatch 2 tonight. We'll give you guys a quick another look at the schedule in case you weren't here earlier, give you guys a little rundown of what's going to be happening throughout the rest of the week. We'll go through, quick little rundown. League of Legends against York tomorrow. Another league game on Thursday. They're going to be varsity, both of those games against Campbellsville. We're going to see Rocket League in action against King's College on Friday, followed by Rainbow Six Siege Academy against Purdue, and then CCA Open, I believe East Qualifier number 2 or the CCA Open number 1, going to be Saturday starting at noon, and then potentially Sunday as well, depending how things play out. So a title for everybody there. Lots of content throughout the weekend. Any final words before we kick things off here?
I'm so happy that Kiriko's on. Kiriko is so fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a lot more fun of a series to watch, and we thank you guys all for tuning in so much. Congratulations to the Overwatch team going 2-0 on the day and pretty much running flawlessly besides the end there, and we'll catch you guys all tomorrow for some League of Legends action.
Of course, is different than capturing a point. It's just pushing the payload, but they might get it right away. Oh, not right away. They are 2 minutes down, I think, when you start at 4 minutes.
But quick enough at least, Yeah, we're going to see the Sigma ult is going to be available. Great headshot there. Crime going to find the pick there. Squeak going to find one with the ultimate as well. Going to find a second onto the Widow. Going to find a third. Squeak with 3. Going to fall to Goldblum, but nonetheless is going to get 3 for his trouble. And the Widow Clair is going to have the window. They are going to use it right away. They realize this could be the last fight of the game. B is going to go off as well. So Drexel investing a lot here. They know they have to try to make this push. They are going to find a couple kills. For Dizzy is going to pick up a pair there. They're going to keep going here. Squeak, huge ultimate. Going to send 3 into the air. Is going to take out the Immortality field. Going to get a lot of damage in, but no kills coming through just yet. Those supports keeping them in the game. Emran is going to find 2 there. Peanut is going to trade him out. Now Jeff Goldblum is going to find one as well. So the Saints, despite their best efforts there, they will fall that first point in the time.
I believe it was the Widow swap.
Yeah.
Honestly, quite interesting. You don't see Soldier that much, considering Sojourn is basically better Soldier at this point.
Yeah, Emran is going to be on the Sojourn, so not able to, steal the swap there. And
yeah.
Soldier, I think now they're fighting at these short corner angles, a much better choice, a lot more close range damage.
Yeah.
We're going to see Dragon Blade. I believe the window comes up as well, and I thought we saw the Kitsune rush popping as well. Emran going to go, so we're seeing a bunch of ults for both sides. Going to see a couple of trades. Yeah.
Just anytime something like that happens, my body just kind of revolts from how disgusting those plays are.
You build up an entire ult charge just for Genji to click a 5-second cooldown button and shove it right back in your face. Crime, luckily, on the Genji. Going to put in some work. Arjun, they're going to hang in just to save this point. Only 5 seconds to play. They're not going to be able to get the touch. Peanut's not going to make it. And just like that, Drexel, they're not going to get the touch. So St. Clair, very, very good.
Widow's ult is kind of not the most.
It's not, it's nice, but it's not,
Yeah, with Widow's ult could be better.
Yeah, let's just. There's a lot to be desired nonetheless, although it's great to get it early. Red X going to get harassed up top there. He's going to TP down to try to save the Sigma there, try to keep Squeak going. Arjun could be sending those orbs out. He is going to find the pick onto the tank, so now St. Clair, that's their move. They're going to take that. That is the way. The Sigma ult as well. Red X going to find the headshot. I think Crime getting the assist there as well. Now Squeak is trying to hold this staircase, trying to hold it down. Tracer will be playing up top as well. Sticky Bomb is going to go out. I think find some damage. Not going to find the pick quite yet. And now the picks are going to come through. A lot of members low damage. Genji down to 1. 3 are going to fall for killing the Widow there. So try to open things up. Maybe the Saints do a really good job of once they find that pick and they think they even smell blood in the water, they absolutely send it. Crime going to find 3 and Red X going to find the 4th. So the Halo going to try to find some way. Or Kitsune Rush is online. They are going to use it right away. So Red X going to initiate things. Dragon Blade is going to come in. Massive Sigma ult going to catch 4 in the air. Lamp does come down, but kills are going to come through. Emmer and Squeak and Red X all getting on the board there. This might be the push the Saints are looking for. Going to try to take out Peanut here. They're going to drop the Genji. Crime going to find that pick onto Peanut. Going to look for this second shot as well. Not going to find it, but the Saints might be able to gather some space. Squeak is going to fall. 2 for 2 going to go through. Still being contested, and the Saints, they should be able to walk.
Which, of course, is different than